Hello, friends. This is Joel Denton from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I'm so excited to talk to the band members from the Elizabeth High School Band in New Jersey. Mr. Dillon and I have been friends for years. He's judged my band when I was teaching for over 25 years. An amazing teacher, great musician, an even better person. And so when he reached out to ask me if I would talk to you today, I was incredibly honored. I just think the world of him and his family. And so it's a great opportunity to be here with you. He asked me to talk a little bit about leadership, and I'm going to do this a little different because I'm pre-recording instead of talking to you in a live situation where you could interact to me. So I'm going to ask you to do some things, and then I'm going to give you time to respond. Or he can stop the video and let you kind of answer questions if I ask a question and let you give some input, and then I'll follow up on that after that little break so to kind of know what's going on. The first thing I want you to do is know that we all know that the fall of 2020, well, actually most of 2020 has been really different for us, hasn't it? It's been crazy. It's been so unique. It's something we've never experienced as people, much less as students and teachers and musicians. Just a really unique, I don't want to say terrible, because different doesn't have to be bad, but just something that we're not used to being a part of or experiencing. And yet here we are in the midst of it. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to take your hands like this and just put them together like that. Just whatever's natural to you, just do it your natural way. And I want you to do that like 2 or 3 times. Just put your hands together, just slap them together and wrap your fingers together. And what you're going to see is that your hands have a natural, comfortable way of going together. It's the way we're built. Some people do it one way, some people do it the other, but we all have the way that feels most comfortable to us. And so I'll tell you, how unique that is. I remember being your age and being in high school, and I asked this girl out, and I thought I really liked her, and we were going on this date. We were going to go to the movies, and we got out of the car at the movie theater, and we started walking in, and I thought I'd be really cool. I was much thinner, and I thought I was good looking back then. And I reached over to grab her hand, and when I grabbed her hand, guess what? She didn't hold it the comfortable way for me. She held it differently, and I really felt myself, I could still remember kind of cringing up and going, oh no, if she doesn't know how to hold my hand, how in the world could I ever really date her? I mean, that's kind of crazy, isn't it? So we're comfortable. We're really comfortable with the way things work. You can take it one step further and fold your arms together, just kind of cross your arms like that. Just put your arms across each other like this. And then do that. Now what I want you to do is I want you to take your hands and I want you to go the opposite way. Not the way that you always go, but the opposite way. Do you feel how different that feels? Try it with your arms. Go the opposite way with your arms. So if your left arm usually goes over your right arm, put your right arm over your left arm when you cross it. And you see the uniqueness and the different way that feels. Well, that's 2020. It's different to us. And so I want you to understand that different doesn't have to be bad. That different doesn't have to be terrible. It's just different. It still can be great. It still can be fun, and your band is going to be fun this year. Your experiences are going to be great this year. They may appear differently. They may present themselves differently. But in the end, we're going to have a great year of making music together. And that's why we got into band. We got into band because we love being with the people in the band, and we love to make music. And those two things haven't changed. Those people are still there. That they may be virtual to you right now, but they're still there, and the music is still present. And it may sound differently because you're making it alone when you're doing it virtually, But guess what? At some point, we're going to get to put all those pieces of that puzzle back together, and that jigsaw puzzle is going to be a beautiful picture, a beautiful piece of music that we get to hear orally listening to. It's going to be wonderful. The next thing I want to challenge you about are things that are really easy to do, particularly in this year when we're in a time of virtual learning. So I want you to raise your hand. Just raise your hand up. Now, without me being able to see you, since I'm videoing this early, I'm going to challenge you now to raise your hand as high as you can. Because I know some of you only raised your hand 50%, and some may have done less, and some may have done 60 or 70%. But what I want you to understand is for you to grow in this different time, you have to be 100% committed. You have more opportunity now than you've ever had to practice your instrument, become better individual musicians. You have more opportunity now to invest yourself into your individual subjects and really grow as a person. Yeah, it's not like being at school and spending half the day, most of your day there, and then having after school rehearsal, and then going home and having to do your homework. You're going to have the opportunity to self-pace yourself. And since I know you're the best students in your building, the brightest students in your building, I know that you're going to be great at that you're going to be able to knock things out faster, more quickly. You're going to be able to look ahead in your classes. You're going to be able to grow as musicians because you're the best we have to offer. And so I want to challenge you. Be 100% all the time. Don't satisfy for 50 or 60 or even 40%. That's never acceptable. In marching band, we talk about marking time sometimes. Well, in life, there's no such thing as marking time. When you mark time, that means you're not moving forward. In real life, it means you're moving backwards, because the people that you're going to be competing with to get in the colleges you want to be in, to get the jobs you want to get after you complete college or vocational school or whatever you pursue in life, those people are not marking time. They're pushing forward. So again, different doesn't have to be bad. It's just different. It's an opportunity for you to grow. So I want you to be 100% all the time. Let's talk about what that looks like. In virtual learning, it's really easy to kind of check out. And so I want to challenge you. I want you to think for a minute, what is the difference between being in attendance and being present? What's the difference in being in attendance and being present? Now, this would be a place where Mr. Dillon could turn the tape off and talk to you if he wanted to, or give you a chance to answer. Now, let me tell you, attendance means that you're there. So you have checked in virtually, or even when we get back to face-to-face learning, you're in the building, you're physically in attendance, you're there, you're physically in rehearsal. But present means that you're not just in attendance, but that you're actively engaged. You're working hard. You're digging in. You're giving your best. You're giving that 100% again to be engaged in what is going on. Now I want you to think about what's the difference in being involved and committed. Involved and committed. Again, you could turn the tape off here, Mr. Dillon, if you wanted to. So involved means that you're in attendance, that you're giving some effort. It may be 40 or 50% or even 60 or 70%. You're going through the motions, you're doing your part. But committed means that you're giving it everything you have. You're giving everything you have. Now, you're in New Jersey, and I know you guys up there eat breakfast kind of like we do here in the South, but in the South, we really like to have bacon and eggs or ham and eggs or sausage and eggs for breakfast. And when I think of that analogy, I think that there's two animals that participate in breakfast when you have those two things. You have the chicken who supplies the eggs, and you have the pig who supplies the meat. Well, the chicken just kind of, chicken, she poops out a couple eggs, the hen, and goes on about her business. And that's kind of what involved looks like. But the pig gives his all so that we could enjoy sausage or bacon or ham. He's committed. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that for your band. Let's be real. We're not going to do that for anything except maybe if we were in a horrible situation where we had to choose between someone we loved and ourselves. But what I am saying to you is in virtual learning, and even in face-to-face learning at times, it's so easy to be in attendance and be involved. Well, we need you to be 100%. We need you to be present and committed. We need you to be supporting not yourself, but supporting all the other people that are involved in your activity, that are involved in the Elizabeth Band, that you are committed to them, that you are there for them. You know, I before COVID, I was in 70 to 80 band rooms every year. And in those band rooms, whether I was doing a leadership clinic or I was doing a rehearsal, marching band or concert, or even if I was doing a clinic band, like an honor band, I always ask students, think about one word that describes your band in a non-musical term. One non-musical word that describes your band. And you know, over 95% of the time, that word is family. And the most used after that is community, which is much like a family, because community, if you break that word apart, communicate and unity means that we communicate with unity. We're all of the same mind. We're all focused on the same goals. We're all trying to achieve the same things. And so that's what I want to challenge you to do. You know, I've probably been in 60 to 75 director sessions. I've probably led 36 now, and probably 50 sessions like this, most of them live, where I'm talking with students. But I've set in on another 20 or 30 just to learn, get information from my peers that I really respect in the activity. And you know, it's so easy to become just in attendance and involved. I can turn the camera off, nobody can see what I'm doing. I could be watching TV, I'm still there, they think. My microphone's off, I can turn the volume up on the TV. It's so easy. It's so easy to be in attendance and involved. But in life and in band and in learning and in every aspect of your life, I want you to work to be present and committed. You'll get the most joy out of doing that. I'm almost out of time because Mr. Dillon asked me 5 to 10 minutes and we're at 13 and a half. But let me leave you with a couple of other things. There's 3 things in our lives that we can never recover. And so I want to tell you, think about your interactions with people. When I think of the one thing that I control in my life, it is my attitude. There's a great writer that says it's the one string that only we get to play on. I love that. It's a musical analogy. In other words, no one else gets to determine your attitude. Only you get to determine it. And he goes on to say that life is really 10% of what happens to us and 90% of how we respond to it. And so our response affects other people. That's the attitude they see. So let's think about how we can control that. My friend Dr. Tim Lutzenheiser loves to say, if I have to choose between being right and being kind, I'll choose kind. And I want to tell you why we choose to be kind. And I hope you'll do that. Again, this is not about band. This is about life. All of these things apply to every aspect of our lives. They help us in band. They make band more fun and better, but they also make us better people. And it's because the 3 things in our life that we can never recover are time. Once it's gone, it's gone. You can't ever go back and recover that time. So let me tell you how honored I am to spend some time with you today. because I hope I'm leaving some fingerprints on your life, the kind that you can't wash off, that will help mold you to be the people I know you're capable of being, and I know Mr. Dillon agrees with me on that. So time, I so appreciate you giving your time. The other thing is we can't take back words we say. Once we say them or once we write them and someone sees them, they can never be unheard or unsaid. We can apologize for that, but we can never recover those words. So let's be really cautious about the words we use, whether it's on social media or in discussions with our friends. Even when we know that we're correct, let's not try to belittle the other people. And then actions is the third thing. So time, words, and actions. Once you do something, you can never recover that. You can apologize for doing it. You can apologize for saying something or writing something, but you can never recover it. So let's be people who are aware that we control our attitude, that we are the people who control what we say and what we do. Someone once said, that our attitude controls our thoughts, and our thoughts become our words, and our words become our actions, and our actions become our habits. So I'm going to stop right there and tell you that someone else said that we don't determine our destiny, we determine our habits, and our habits determine our destiny. So it's so important that we are aware of what we're doing, because what we do repeatedly becomes a habit. Our habits become our destiny. That's our character, really, what people think of us, and our character leads us to our destiny, how we're remembered. It all starts with our attitude. The way we think determines what we say determines what we do becomes a habit. What our habits become defining our character, what other people think about us. Our character determines our destiny or our legacy, how people are going to remember us. You know, Kalu says, what you do for you is gone when you are gone, but what you do for others becomes your legacy. Let's be people who think more about others than we do ourselves. Let's be people, even though we can't be with everyone right now, we're in this virtual environment, let's be people who reach out to the people we care about in our band program and in our lives and make sure they're okay and support them and encourage them. And don't do that through text or email. Call them. If you can find a place to get together with social distancing, do that. So that I don't even like that word social distancing. I think we should be saying physical distancing. Let's keep our distance physically, but let's make sure that we're supporting each other socially. We all need that. We all need to know that other people are experiencing this with us and that they are there for us. Be those people. Be those people that know that what you're feeling and what you're wanting are the same things that other people are that you love and care about in your band program are experiencing and wanting too. And try to provide that for each other. Try to find the opportunity, the way to do that. Rusty Staub II says, leadership is high touch. How do you create high touch in a no touch environment? It's almost impossible. So we have to do it by not touching each other, high fives, fist pump, pats on the back, hugs, all those things that we normally would do. We can't do those things, but we can call them and say, hey, I'm thinking about you. How are you doing? Hey, let's put our phone on FaceTime and let's play a duet together. And it may not be perfect, but you know what? You'll be doing it together. Let's figure out ways that we can do that together. And we're almost at 20 minutes, so let me just close with this. In the South, growing up, we have this experience. Almost every young child in the South has it at a family dinner or a dinner party or something at the church, a big meal at the church, invariably some older person will lean over to a very young child and they will say, remember, keep your fork. And that means keep your fork when they take up all the plates from the main course. Because in most of those things, we don't put out all the silverware for desserts and salads and all that. You get one fork. And then dessert comes. And you start understanding what they really meant was keep your fork, something better is coming. So I want to say to you that even though this fall is different, you're in a virtual setting, keep your fork, guys. Something better is coming. It's going to be great. You're going to get to experience it. Music is coming back. Theater is coming back. All those things that we're missing, that we're not getting to do, marching band, playing in our wind ensembles and our concert bands, our jazz bands. I know you guys have a great jazz band. All those things are coming back. It's just going to be a little while. So let's work to be prepared so that when that opportunity arises, it's even better than it was when this stupid virus came. Let's make sure that we're taking care of each other and we're taking care of ourselves. Be kind. Reach out. Think of others before yourself. Be present. Be committed. Give 100%. I know you're going to because you've got great leadership as your band directors. And I want to encourage you and thank you again for letting me talk to you today. I wish you only the best. Chins up, hearts open, march forward. You can do this. I know you can.